Hello friends, today we're going to talk about how to make my YouTube channel look professional. I've got 3 suggestions for you. Happy to jump into it. Hello, I am Scott Wilhite, the Record Yourself video coach. Happy to share with you the things that I have learned so that you can get out there, you can share your voice, your message, your purpose of life. You can make a great difference in the world. I am talking to impactors. I'm talking to people who want to grow their influence, who want to grow their business through the power of internet video. Now, if this sounds like you, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you ring the bell, and I'll let you know when, or YouTube will let you know when a new video comes out. So with that, we're going to talk about how to make your YouTube channel look professional. Okay, so I'm going to share 3 simple steps so that you can make your YouTube channel look professional. Now, and as I do that, I just got to back up. I got to tell you a little bit about where we're at right now. So we're in my kitchen. Well, actually, you're in my kitchen. I'm in my dining room. And the reason that I am filming here today is because I wanted to take you back to where it all started for me. I didn't start out professional. I didn't start out knowing what I was doing, and I stumbled along and I made a ton of mistakes, but I learned some things. And what we're doing here, I wanted to film here back where it all started for 2 reasons. First of all, you could see, hey, I could do that. You know, you can see yourself in your own home and your own location and think, okay, I've got locations that'll work. And the second thing is that I wanted to take you back to where it started for me. So let me tell you a little bit about my story. And it all started when I had this yearning inside that I just really had this message that I had to share. I learned that happiness was a skill. Now, before that, my life was a train wreck. If it wasn't for the wonderful grace of my wonderful wife and the grace of God, I'm sure I would have gotten divorced. I'm sure I would have wrecked my family because I was just a mess. I had this inner turmoil that was killing me. And I was trying to grasp these things that were just outside of my reach because I thought they would bring me happiness. Well, I learned through this great research that happiness is actually a skill. I'm going a little too fast here, I know, right? Okay, so I learned that happiness was a skill. I learned that there were certain things that if we could get ourselves into states of gratitude, if we could get into, states where we are serving others, where we're making a contribution, if we could do different things like this, and the research that I was reading showed all these people who were tricked into it. They had these social experiments where they would put them into these exercises, and they would start to feel feelings of gratitude, and suddenly they were happy and joyful, and they could withstand the challenges of life. It seemed like they could overcome anything when they were happy and when they were in states of gratitude. And so I started to realize, oh my goodness, happiness is a skill. Nobody at that time was teaching this idea that happiness was a skill. And I thought, that's my contribution. That's how I can give back to the world. Well, at the time, I had used up all my resources. I'd gone through all my money and used up all my filmmaker friend favors that I could cash in. And so I thought, okay, if I'm going to get this message out there, I'm going to have to record myself. And so that's what I did. Right where you're standing is where I started it. I borrowed a tripod, I grabbed a camera, I borrowed some lights, and set it up right here. Now, again, I want you to get this feeling that I can do this. So in my setup right here, I have one light. That's it. One light that's bringing this. Over here, I have a big window. And when I first did this, I don't even think I had the one light. I just used the window, the natural light coming in to make it look good. I also have a boom pole up here with a boom mic bringing in the audio. I'm just giving you a little behind the scenes so that you can understand how to do this. I do talk about how to create your own boom pole. I was able to create this for like $20. And I give you the setup on all of this stuff. If you get the gear guide, make sure you get the gear guide and it'll show you how to which gear to get so that you can do this. So I'm sorry, that's just kind of a long, roundabout way that I want you to see that you can actually do this. And so that's why we're here in my kitchen, in my dining room, going through the lesson today. Okay, so there are 3 things that you want to do to make sure that your channel looks professional. Okay, 3. So the very first thing that you want to do is you want to create a custom thumbnail. Now, what I would recommend you do is you create a style, something that feels like you. Make sure that, like you can use consistent colors, you can use consistent type, you can use consistent like shapes and things in there. But the more consistent you can be with your look and feel, the more people will say, oh yeah, I recognize this. I've seen him or I've seen her before. And you're gonna have this, this feeling of a show, feeling of something that's substantial, feeling of something that's professional. So that's the first thing. You want to create your own custom thumbnails, and you want to create them to look and feel like each other, like they're part of a series or part of a family. Next, you want to use good lights and audio. Now, I did just mention that I've got only one light over here, and I've got professional audio being boomed down here. When you use good lights and good audio, it makes such a difference. People will not tolerate bad audio. Now, if you want a little QuickStart challenge on this, I do have my QuickStart challenge that will show you not only which equipment to use, but it will get you going so that you can jump right into it and start making your videos and start making the impact that you want. So there'll be a link, up above or down below that will get you that QuickStart guide if you'd like to do that. And also you'll want to check out my gear guide just so that you know what equipment to get. But you want to look and sound professional, and the audio and the lights are the key. Camera's important, but really, frankly, not as important as a good light and definitely a good mic. Okay, now the third tip for you to look professional on your YouTube show is to be prolific. That means to create a lot of content. Not every bit of video that you create is going to be wonderful, and not all of it is going to be watched by hundreds of thousands of people. But if you start creating every day, if you start creating consistently, you release on a consistent schedule, and start getting a lot of video out there, that is what's going to make you look professional. You look at any of the TV shows out there, it's not just one-offs that they do, but they do an entire series. And you're into season 2 and season 7, and it's when they start having all of those that you realize they're really a force. And what you want to do is you want to be a force for good. With the stuff that you're creating, you want to create an impact in the world. So the more prolific you can be, the more video content that you can create, the more those YouTube thumbnails start looking, start blending together and working together to create the show identity. And the better quality your audio is, the better quality your video and your lighting is, that is what's going to make the big difference in you looking and sounding professional. Now, there's a lot of other things that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about content. We're going to talk about how to speak to an audience. Anyway, so make sure that you like and subscribe this channel if you feel like this is something that resonates with you. If you are the kind of person that is heart-centered and wants to make a difference in the world, that's what this content will help you do. So, hopefully the ideas here, the 3 ideas, will help you become more professional. And then as you kind of upgrade and get better at it, I want to help you with all of those other things so that you can make the biggest difference in the world that you can do. All right, it's time for you to share your voice. What's the message you have inside that the world needs right now? Hey, I hope you liked that episode. If you were trying to figure out what kind of gear to get, check out my gear guide. I've gone through a lot of equipment, figured out what works really well. Happy to share that with you.